Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
Hello, my name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Hey guys, so in this video, Alvin and I are just going to be taking a look back at the 2024 presidential election and examining some of the most shocking results, like some of the particular election results that we found the most surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just start and do a quick video starting with the presidential level here. Obviously, we know the results. We've reiterated these many of times, and unless you're living under a rock, you know what happened on the presidential level. But let's delve in a little deeper to the state level because while Trump did extraordinarily well across the board, as you can see on the shift map, there are certain states where we would not have expected him to do even close to how well he did. And I guess I'll take our home state of New Jersey here, where Kamala Harris only won the state by 5 to 6 points, which is a really bad look for her. A lot of factors go into this. The main one really just being that New Jersey is a very diverse state, high Latino population that shifted quickly to the right, and as you can see, every county in New Jersey shifted to the right,
Hmm.
and it's really boosted though with both rural shifts, but also surprisingly some significant suburban shifts, and the metro area here that's very diverse around New York City really was the mover here.
Yeah, and I definitely think the New Jersey results caught everybody off guard because yeah, like the state was pushed into single digits on the presidential level for the first time in quite a while. But yeah, it was just primarily driven by those more Hispanic areas of the state and the areas around New York City. I think there was a large expectation that New York would shift right, but that never really extended to New Jersey. Um, that could potentially just be because of the lack of polling in the state. Because I don't believe New Jersey was really polled, until like the last month before the election. So like I just maybe just not having that data was not great. But I do remember like back like several months ago there was some warning signs. Like there was one like right-leaning pollster that had New Jersey R+1 when it was still Trump versus Biden. So maybe that was like, an ominous sign, like, like before, all the change ups happened with Kamala and stuff. But, yeah, like I think generally just seeing New Jersey this close wasn't really in the realm of possibilities, yet it happened.
Yeah, you're right. And also, like, I guess that one Trump rally that he held in New Jersey,
Oh, yeah.
at the time when he held it, it was very surprising. People were laughing it off as a joke. Everyone was saying, well, Trump in New Jersey, he's wasting his resources and his time doing that. But it ended up completely not being a waste of time. Maybe his internal polls showed some signs of this happening. These shifts in New Jersey, maybe just wanted to do a little testing of the waters and also influence Eastern Pennsylvania here, which maybe a lot of people in the Philly metro area ended up going to that rally or something, just shifting that Eastern PA that, Biden was able to do specifically well in, and Harris completely ceded ground later. And I think another state we have to look at is Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
straight off the bat, you can tell, Texas was actually one of the early signs in the night on election night that things were really not going well for Harris because at the time, you saw these counties that were even the seats of, cities here, they were shifting to the right at the time. A lot of these pretty significant counties actually, would shift to the left very little throughout the night. And a place like Dallas shifted 10 points to the right. These were early big signs that Harris was in trouble, and at least she was going to completely drop the Sun Belt. It was sort of made
Yeah.
Democrats go into panic mode, make sure they were only going to potentially win through the Rust Belt, and specifically this border, which I'll let you expand on, but I mean, just looking at the size of these red
Mhm.
arrows, it's crazy.
Yeah. Um, the Texas result. definitely was not really in our range of possibilities. Like, I mean, we've said it a lot on this channel. If you look at our past videos, that generally, like, we saw Texas as a left trending state, just because its suburbs, like, pretty consistently in every election, have been moving left. Um, that kind of stopped here. Um, overall, the state as a whole shifted 7 points right. I believe from 2020. The suburban shifts are basically for the most part entirely gone. I think so, like they are like uh the shifts are less compared to obviously like the Hispanic regions of the state. So like maybe the suburb shifted like maybe 2 points right, while um maybe like more like five rather, while the Hispanic regions shifted like 20 points right. Um yeah. So I guess like seeing that reversion in the state was not really expected. I did not really see Texas going back to a double digit Republican state um in a presidential year, but obviously we were proven wrong here. The Hispanic shifts I think really drove this. I think even if like if you want to look at the county level in the Rio Grande Valley, if you want to do that real quick, yeah, like even on the county level, like she lost like every county down there, which is, historically, if you go back to like 2016, I mean, you could go back to 2020 even, but if you go back to 2016 especially, like, holy crap, like those used to be solid blue counties, and they basically all went for Trump.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Trump somehow turned immigration into a very winning issue for him with Hispanics. There's a lot of backlash to his rhetoric in 2016. There was a lot of, racism allegations against him, and it seemed to help Hillary Clinton with Hispanics, but he's completely turned that around now. A lot of Hispanics also coincide with the working class and lower income brackets that seem to swing really huge for Trump, especially in these rural areas.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and speaking of the county level, just zooming out, I mean, it's insane that Trump flipped 54 counties and Harris flipped 0 counties. I mean, we haven't seen a losing presidential candidate not flip a single county in, uh, probably century. So, that's just insane. But maybe we can talk about this map right here. Why don't you explain what this is?
Oh yeah, so this is like this is a map of I've been throwing together with the data I have. So basically, it's a map of the presidential election by congressional district. So how Trump performed roughly in each congressional district, and how Harris performed in each one. You'll notice some districts are left blank just because those are districts that are closer. And I just don't have exact data for them yet, or I just couldn't find them online. So those I had to leave blank until I get more information. But like this is generally enough to still see some surprising results. And I guess maybe I'll just like walk you through the most interesting ones. I guess we could start in the New Jersey area here because I think the New Jersey's ninth district is the most like yeah, like that's probably one of the more interesting results. I mean, as you can see, New Jersey is essentially I think it's fair to say it's a Democratic gerrymander.
Yeah.
The map was made to protect incumbents, and yeah, it was meant to guarantee like a certain amount of Democratic representatives. But you could see with Trump's results in New Jersey, he managed to break this gerrymander to some extent. Um, he got the northern fifth district very light blue, but the most interesting result is the ninth district, which is like right in that really blue area around New York City. Yeah, you could zoom in on it real quick. The ninth district, low single digits. Like this district went to Trump, and it's a very urban district. It's like right in there, um, like next to New York City, and it has like lots of urban areas. So it's very surprising that this district would go to Trump. I believe it voted for Biden by like plus 20, and now it's a Trump district. Trump's winning it by like a point. So that right off the bat is like an incredibly interesting one. And then for the other surprising districts, I guess you could zoom out again. I would focus more on just the entire like Mexican border, really, like that whole region. Um, like yeah, like those districts. I mean, there's lots of Hispanics in those districts, so that drove the swing. But it's really interesting. If you look at Texas, obviously, we know Trump won the Rio Grande Valley, but those two districts down there, um, those two districts were made as a sort of like because Texas is almost entirely like it's a Republican gerrymander. These two districts were made as packs to pack in Democratic voters into two super blue districts. But those districts meant to be blue seats by Republicans to
Trump broke
minimize
a
Democratic
Republican
votes.
gerrymander.
I mean, yeah, like exactly. Like now like the Republicans designed those seats to try to like limit Democratic seats in the House by packing a bunch of Democrats into one district. But now though even those districts, those primarily Hispanic districts, are going right. And then yeah, you could see that sort of continue along the border. Arizona, there's like, a lot of the swingy districts went red. Same with New Mexico. Another super interesting one is Cali 25, which is that big one in Southeast California. It's light blue now. This used to be, yeah, again, another solid blue district. I think this must have voted for Biden by definitely double digits. So like I think if I had to guess like D plus 20 about for Biden and Clinton, yeah. Harris is only winning this district by 2 points, which is pretty bad. Like that's a remarkable swing. So yeah, again, just across that region, just the collapse in those districts is really interesting. And like I mean, just to thinking ahead, like if that collapse continues, I'm not really sure how much Democrats will suffer in 2026. Um, but definitely definitely if not then in 2028, Democrats should be really worried about these districts in the future because a lot of those House Democrats survived in these districts, although, it might get more and more difficult for them to hold on.
Yeah, there was also like a lot of talk about how House Democrats would run behind Harris. But no, like across the board, a lot of House Democrats actually did better than Harris with the Trump victory. A lot of
Hmm.
lower educated voters would simply vote for Trump and leave the rest of their ballots empty, which would have flipped various down ballot races like the
Yep.
Nevada Senate race, the Arizona Senate race, although, it's a little different there. The Wisconsin Senate race, and then you also had a lot of House districts that, as you can see, Trump won, but Democrats obviously have a larger minority than this number right here. So yeah, across the board, it is what it is. Also, I we can talk about the down ballot races now. I mean, in terms of these House districts, uh, David Valadao and Don Bacon just uh, outperforming their presidential counterparts is something we need to talk about. Nebraska District 2, there's a lot of analysis on this district because Nebraska allocates its electoral votes by congressional district, and people really thought this is the year where Democrats move the needle in Nebraska too to a point where Republicans will never be able to recover. On the presidential level, that basically happened, but on the district level, Don Bacon held a seat improbably yet again. And
Yeah.
so, although 2026 is going to be tough for Don Bacon, maybe he has a shot again just because of how much he's outperforming here. And I guess you can also talk about Valadeo here.
Oh yeah, I just want to know on the point of Don Bacon, I was pretty confident he was going down. I know you weren't as confident in you can look back at our house prediction video, but I believe I was quite confident, and I was debating whether or not to put that district in likely for our prediction, likely Democrat for our prediction, and of course Bacon held on, so I was quite wrong there. But yeah, I mean, with the whole country shifting right and Nebraska's second slightly shifting right, it does. Yeah, Bacon. Even despite like, I mean, like there was like internal reports that Bacon was really worried about his prospects in his district, and turns out he survived. So that's very interesting. But definitely a target for 26 for Democrats. And the other surprising result in the House race is Valadao's performance in California District 22. Um, you know, Alvin and I were of the opinion in our prediction that that Valladeo would lose because he was in a very blue district. Like it was a double-digit Biden district. I believe now it's a more Hispanic district. Like I believe even though I didn't have it in my map, like the results in my map, I believe it is now a Trump district. But yeah, it is pretty crazy how well he did because we predicted his opponent Rudy Salas slightly winning, and he ended up like thumping him, winning by like 6-7. I actually don't believe like Valadeo is even like Valadeo won by such a large margin. I just don't even think he's going to be a target for 2026. Why? Because he had a great election performance. I believe it was better than 2022 for him. And also, he's in a Hispanic district that now I believe Trump won, or it's going to be really close. So in that district. So I feel like he's definitely on track to hold on in 2026 if he runs again, unless he gets primaried. But yeah, I think that's very interesting. A very interesting result for one of the Republicans that impeached Trump back in 2021, voted to impeach Trump in 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Along with Dan Newhouse, who did win re-election yet again, a little sneaky addition there. And finally, we're just going to end with a quick note on the Pennsylvania Senate race because
Hmm.
Montana, everyone expected to flip.
Yep.
Ohio, we didn't predict it, but
It was in the realm. Yeah,
obviously
possibility. So
Pennsylvania was very, very in the realm. And Pennsylvania, which just did not see us coming. Bob Casey Jr., a electoral juggernaut in the state of Pennsylvania, seemingly Dave McCormick, his challenger, was not the strongest of opponents, seemed to be very elitist,
yeah,
had his ties to China, a very rich guy. Just seemed like he could not appeal to Pennsylvanians, especially when we remember 2 years ago he lost to Dr. Oz in the primary, and Dr. Oz
yeah,
got pummeled by John Fetterman, who we thought was a much worse candidate than Bob Casey, right? We thought Fetterman imploded on the debate stage.
yeah. That's true.
Meanwhile, Casey was a well-spoken guy, and he was obviously, he had won races by so much in the past. We did not see this result coming at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely you summed it up correctly. Like, it is very shocking. Like Bob Casey's kind of been a staple in Pennsylvania, and you're right. Like he won by double digits in 2018, so a massive victory back then. And here, yeah, like not the greatest candidate. The Republicans didn't run the greatest candidate they had in Dave McCormick here. So, I believe like even you said back in 2022 when he was running against Oz back in the primary all those years ago. Like he wasn't even that great because of his ties to China and stuff. And even though Oz didn't have exactly the ties to the state, like there was some, you know. He had the China stuff and he had connections to Connecticut. So McCormick wasn't like the cream of the crop, like in terms of candidates that Republicans could have ran. But nonetheless, he rode the Trump wave and he got the win in unseated Casey. There you go. Like, yeah, that is definitely one of the most shocking results from this election.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean that's really about it. That's all we've got for you here
Hmm.
today. Summation of the most unexpected results of the 2024 cycle. We're gonna be looking at 2025 and beyond soon, but we want to get this out before 2024 stop being relevant. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a like on this video down below. Comment down below if you think we missed anything. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel for future videos and ring the bell so you don't miss our videos. And thanks for watching. Share this video with your family and friends.
See you guys.